If you're currently dealing with some back pain but don't have a lot of time to deal with it, this video is just for you. In 15 minutes, we're going to go through some calisthenics that will target your pain and help you feel a whole lot better. Come join me. Hi, my name is Lauren Irk. I'd like to welcome you to Fitness Integrated Science TV. Today's 15-minute video will go over how you can take care of back pain in record time. Now, this video will all be body weight only. The only thing I am going to incorporate a couple of times is a sponge ball. You could use a yoga block, you could use a pillow, or nothing. You may not even need anything for this workout. The point is, I'm going to make sure that in a very short amount of time, you are going to feel a whole lot better. So let's get started. Bring yourself into your hands and knees. Now, obviously, if you can't get down to the floor, you can do this in standing. Bringing your hands down onto the ground, or if you're in standing, you're going to put them on your legs or maybe even on a chair. I want you to begin by separating both of your knees wider than your hips. Now, you may notice today that you have a lot of back pain, or maybe it's getting ready to come on, or maybe you're just kind of dealing with something mild. But I want you to start by pulling your hands towards your knees and your knees towards your hands. What that's going to do right away is going to take some of the pressure off of your lower back by getting some of your awareness into your abdominal cavity. Now, I want you to continue to do this. Walk your hands a little further forward. Now pull back again. Notice that there's a difference. So when you have more space between the hands and the legs, you're going to feel more activation. Slowly begin to move your hips as needed back into your heels. Obviously, the health of your knees and your hips are going to dictate this. Lightly pull your hands towards your knees. So this is not a passive stretch. I know it looks like it, but we're moving the limbs towards one another. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, engage your belly. Again, deep breath in. Exhale, engaging the belly. Now I want you to move yourself back up onto all fours. As you're doing this now, let's begin by drawing one of our knees into our chest. Now doing this, you're dealing with the weight of your leg, you're tightening your abdominals, and then bring that back down. Let's do the same thing on the other side, drawing it in and back down. 2 more times, drawing it in to hold it, and back down, and then 1 more time, squeezing in to hold, and back down. Now walk your legs up to your hands, flip around and sit on your mat. Taking your block, pillow, or sponge ball, I want you to bend both of your knees and draw them into your chest. Now what I'm going to do is place this ball between my abdomen and my legs, and then very lightly move the legs into the ball. On your inhale, see if you can peel the lower back off the floor, even if it's just a tiny little bit, and then bring that back down. Let's do that again. Exhale, drawing that in, and then inhale, bringing that back out. And notice I am taking a little bit of a pause here and bringing that back out. Last 2, exhale, breathing, and bring that out. Now, let's take our ball to the right leg, and I want you to extend the left leg out as much as you can, holding that there. Hold. And then we switch. Bring the ball to the other side. Squeezing into the ball, see if you can extend one leg out. Now when you extend that leg out, I want you to work on tightening into your glutes on that straight leg and bring it in. Now if this bothers your lower back, simply keep your foot on the ground. You're still getting the same benefit, it's just that we're not going into that extreme position. And typically when we're in pain, we don't want to go into any extreme positions. Let's do 2 more just like this. And back in, and then 1 more time. Now as you bring this down, I want you to lower your foot to the floor. Both of your hips are on the ground. Externally rotate through this leg. And if you do have access to a pillow or a ball, I want you to place that underneath it, hold it, and then back to the center, inhale. Do that again, bringing it down into that surface press, feeling the outer hip, and bring that right back in. 1 more time, exhale, squeezing out into the ball. Keep it very light. and back to the center. Let's bring that foot into the floor, pick up the other side, place the object between the legs, and now roll your pelvis off the floor all the way up into a bridge position. If you're dealing with some pain right now, you may not be able to get up as high, then I want you to systematically roll yourself right back down. Let's do that again, rolling through or starting off at the tailbone and finishing up at the shoulder, and then exhale, bring that back down. Now, bringing that right leg into a straight line, we're keeping the other side flexed. I want you to externally rotate through that side. Filling up that joint space, we're placing that ball right below the leg. Hold that for a few seconds and bring that back in. Make sure to anchor over here on the other side, and again, move that out to the side to hold and back in. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, shoulder down, hip down, bring it out and press into the object for a moment, and come right back to the center. And then last one, we press right back down to hold, easy. Good, and back to the center. So let's take our ball once again in between those legs. Peel your pelvis off the ground, roll through the waist, come all the way up onto the shoulders, contracting. You may actually have more range of motion now. And then exhale, let's lower it down the same way we went into it. In Pilates, they would call this imprinting, right? Rolling through the tailbone all the way up into the shoulder, lightly squeezing that ball as we roll that all the way back down. Now, let's bring our legs up into our chest. And I know there's a tendency to grab and pull. Try not to do that. I want you to squeeze into the ball, which completely redirects a lot of our energies. Place your hands behind your head, tuck your chin, and if you're comfortable with it, come into a crunch. Again, the more we can put the emphasis on the abdomen, the better. As we squeeze into that ball, see if you can move your ball away from you. If you're dealing with something really crucial in your back right now, keep it closer into the center. Keeping that here, I want you to internally rotate so your feet come out to the side and then back in the middle. Do it again. Squeeze the ball, internally rotate through the hip and back in. Notice how my lower leg is moving out to the side because my femur bones are spinning inward. And back down, and then last one, squeezing into that ball, rotate in. Good, then we're back in the center and release it. Now as we come all the way up to the center, let's move back into our quadruped, bringing your hands directly below the shoulder. I want you to lightly, this time, push your hands away from your knees. And if you do that, you're going to notice immediately your lower back will begin to sink. This is called extension. Let's just hold this here for a minute. Then raise that up to the center by tightening up those abs. Let's do that again. Pushing the hands and knees away from each other, allow that lower back to sink, and many times this feels really good. And then exhale, we're coming right back into the center. All right, now one more time as we sink back down, let's see if we can pinch those shoulder blades together, even add the movement of the cervical spine. Can you look up? And then exhale, push those hands together and tighten through the abdominals. Looking at the space between your hands, can you slide the right leg into that place? Now when you're in this position, I want you to just hold this for a second. If you feel any discomfort whatsoever, feel free to move that ball underneath the hip for a moment and then release it. Then I'm going to slide that all the way back. Let's do the same thing on the other side as we shift it through. Feel free to bring that ball below it, and we're just going to hold this here for just a moment, breathing gently. Good, and then release that all the way back out. Now this time as we bring that right knee in, let's just hold that there. I'm going to go ahead and place this underneath. I want to take a deep breath in, the same side as my leg. I'm just going to reach through. I'm not touching the floor, but I'm just reaching through, then coming right back into the center. Now if this bothers your back, stay low to the floor. Don't go into as much of extension. Again, rotating to the side, squeezing, and then inhale, coming back. Last time, exhale, reaching through, some tightening up the abdominals, letting that shoulder come off the back here, back to the center, and release it. All right, so as we sweep that back, I want you to lie down on your belly. This is going to give those knees a little bit of a break. Tucking your chin, look down at the floor so that the back of your neck is nice and long. Press your hips down. As you inhale, move the upper body off the floor without using your hands. You may notice you don't get much of a lift off at all, but do the best that you can to squeeze the lower back, tighten between the shoulder blades and hold it, and then exhale back down. Do that again. Inhale, extend outward and upward, hold it, and back down. 2 more times. Inhale out and up. Exhale back down, and then 1 more time. Inhale out enough to hold it. And back down. Now, if you weren't pushing with your hands, that is actually quite therapeutic for your back. From here now, I want you to go back into your hands and knees. Taking your other side, it's going to be my left leg through. I'm back in my pigeon, I'm going to call this. Take the ball or the block or the pillow, whatever you're using, and fill up that joint space if it's comfortable. Assess your spine. You may have to walk your hands forward in order to feel more comfortable and not be in so much extension. Although if you're doing this video several times in a row, you may notice your range of motion open up. Taking the arm that's on the same side as the knee, I'm just going to feed it through, which is called threading the needle, holding that here, floating up off the ground. And then we bring that right back to the center and rest. Inhale, breath. Do that again. Exhale, feeding that through. Now, if this is really bothering you to have your leg through, you can do this whole thing just on all fours. You don't have to be in pigeon. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And then as we exhale, we reach through. And if you are going to rest your hand on the floor, don't pull yourself around. Back in the middle and release it. All right. So now as I take that ball away, I'm going back down onto my abdomen. Press the pelvis into the floor. Turn the palms up to the ceiling. This time as you inhale, I want you to look to the right and then see if you can actually rotate to that side. Exhale and come down. Let's do the same thing on the other side. As we look to the left, we're rotating through. And back down. Now coming into the middle, inhale, breath, holding. And back down. Tucking your chin, I want you to come up and just basically hold this position. You may or may not be very high off the ground. Turn your gaze and look to your right. Come back to the center. Now look to your left. And come back to the center. Bend your elbows, place your palms beside you. Hold. Look to the right. Come back to the center, look to the left. Come back to the center. Now see if you can actually lift your chin. If that's not comfortable, keep your chin tucked. From here, without changing anything, if you're capable, see if you can reach one arm out in front of you and then bring it right back. Do the same thing on the other side. And you can see that I am not pushing into the ground, because if I was, my chest would sink every time. This time as you reach, see if you can actually do it without your hand coming into the floor. What you're going to notice is activation all down through the shoulder into the top of the iliac crest, right in that lower back. Let's go 2 more times. Inhale and back down, and then 1 more time. Inhale and back down. Now, lower yourself down in your exhale. Press your hips into the floor. Inhale, come right back up. If it's appropriate for you, see if you can reach both arms out in front, and then exhale, bring that back. You may even be able to lift your arms off the floor, depending on how strong you feel. Otherwise, you may be able to stay here or even just come up in a limited way, letting your hands rest on the ground. Push yourself all the way through again. Let's come back into our quadruped. This time again, we're pulling our hands towards our knees. So we're changing our orientation, our direction. Now, tuck the pelvis by flexing into that lumbar spine, upper thoracic spine. Move your shoulder blades apart and draw your chin. Then engaging muscles in your back, return to neutral. Let's do that again. Pulling the hands towards the knees, tighten up the abdominal muscles and hold it. And then inhale, bring that back out. 1 more time. Exhale, pulling the hands towards the knees, tighten up those abdominal muscles. And then inhale, bring that out. So now let's just walk our legs directly out in front of the body. Now this may be a point where you may have to sit on an object, maybe a blanket or something like that. I want you to take both of your legs out in front of you. So already, if your back is rounded, you really need to sit up on a blanket. Feel free to bend your knees here if you like. Bending just your right knee, I want you to take your elbow and see if you can come across and touch your knee to hold it. Just tighten up the abdominals, back in the center, and release it. Now I caution you, if your spine is rounded, doing this exercise can be detrimental, right? We want to make sure that we have that upright position. Make that connection there. Inhale, back to the center, and release. Let's do that 1 more time. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, turn and rotate. Back in the middle, and then 1 more time. Inhale, bend the knee, sitting tall. Exhale, turn and rotate. Try to bring that elbow across. And I know a lot of you have told me that you're continuously working on your ability to sit upright with your legs out in front of you. So let's go ahead and lower down onto our back now. Taking your hands behind your head, bend your knees. On your exhale breath, pick up your right leg. Let's rotate and hold it and come back to the center. Pick up your left leg. Raise your torso, turn and rotate, squeeze, and back in. Pick up your right leg, bring it up, exhale, turn and rotate, and back down. And then one more time, bring that knee in, exhale, turn and rotate. Good. Now finally, let your head drop down onto the floor. No ball, just you. Push your arms into the ground and see if you can come into that reverse crunch, holding that there. And then exhale, bring it down. And if you don't let your hips get off the ground, it's okay. Again, as we press that up, we hold it there. And back in one more time and hold. Squeeze, pushing those arms into the ground. And release it. Now, place your hands on the outer knees. The knees are as wide as the hips. From here, you can feel how that lower back is on the ground. Now, see how far you're able to straighten your legs, even if it's just a tiny bit. Pushing your knees out into your hands. Hold it there. And then exhale, bring that back down. Now, move your hands to the fronts of your legs. Pull your legs back into your hands. Without changing anything, see if you can start to extend your knees out. And then exhale, bring that back down. Slide your hands back out to the side. Push out into your knees. Ready? Extend from the knee again, stacking your heel on top. And then exhale, bring that down. And taking your hands back to the front. Pull down, kick your legs up and hold it. And back down. Now slide your hands behind your knees. Push your knees away from you. Draw your hands towards you. And now move back up into tabletop. And if you like, you can even add a little crunch, holding this here. Then holding onto your legs, rock yourself up into center. Now, as we cross our legs over, let's see how comfortable we feel in our hips. If your hips feel really tight, that's a big clue as to why your back is bothering you. Place your hands on top of your knees. Push your knees up into your hands. Hands underneath and round your back. Hands on top, sitting up tall. Exhale, hands underneath, push down and round. One more time, sitting up tall and hold it. Roll your shoulders into your back. Good. And then finally, let's just roll up, taking that right arm over the head, side bending, which feels amazing in the back. Exhale, same thing on the left, side bending. And bring it out. Hopefully after this video, you feel a little bit more comfortable and you can get on about your day. If you did get any information as you're going through this workout, maybe it was a shoulder or a hip or something in your back that felt tight, that is what you can do to search right in the on-demand library, that same exact thing, and try some other integrated or isolated isometrics to help you reduce that pain and come back to some of these mobility workouts. Until next time, I'll see you then.